So if you want to subscribe to Amy this channel, so look at the top below and then want to subscribe tonight's show on Monday Night Raw. So I'll go with Raw with I'll say 8 out of 9. So this was really good adjustments, promos, and rivalries. So after between that, it was a really good show, I think. So you get one membership and you put my description my screen below right here. And they got, if you want to have a second channel, it's called Aston Bagels Reviews. You can check it out in the second top below right there on my second channel in 2 separate ways. So let's go Monday Night Raw live right here. So after with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker will kick off Raw tonight. After the official of pro wrestling in WWE. After Rollins threw Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins, the winner of the WrestleMania 41 on Saturday in the main event. After informed and fans at the top of the show, after the wrestling through he was interrupted by Sami Zayn. After the underdog from the underground. This was criticized when Seth Rollins claiming to collections of supporters he is insulting himself, where it's no different than what Roman Reigns did with the bloodline. I did in as long as that with the heel tone was serious as CM Punk. After was Sami Zayn claims he told the former Intercontinental champion that after he has until is going to end as a night to who decide whether he is buying into what Savanas and Paul Heyman and Bob Breakker or Sonny or whatever he needs to leave for SmackDown. So after a sold enough announcement, this set up a storyline for the rest of the show. After input Sami Zayn through Andrew, who is one of the great on his babyface in the WWE history, of passion where he has to make a season that he will take the intimate the near of his long career. After the official of this in Dynasty 1's true, and the ones told the acclaim may be who. After who says wanted to be in the passing that wherein Sami Zayn said to Savanas claiming seriously, I've been dubbed his Heart of Rings and CM Punk about that. I knew what a confidence in that for the enforcer of WWE. I knew all centers around when Seth Rollins and you currently not buying into what we're so maybe after we can cast you out, it's not a threat. I just is an awful Seth Rollins said setting up a show along for Sami Zayn. So other like that assessment, a part of that, when Sami Zayn had to told Seth Rollins Sami Zayn is not doing anything about that This is not about Roman Reigns, and this is not about CM Punk. I was thinking about Seth Rollins beat Universal with Braun Breaker and Sebastian Paul Heyman. But Paul Heyman was become in the Hall of Fame. So I just in the past when Seth Rollins was the best Universal and wasn't top star, he is. So next match, they got Rhea Ripley goes one-on-one against Roxanne Perez. I did a dream match between two of the best ends in the world today. Rhea Ripley scored off with a former NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. I just supposedly target the knee of the ring post. Andrew Ripley is looking to take out on her base, and while Mommy emphasizes her strength advice to overpower Roxanne Perez and toss her around the squad circle. Argument Roxanne Perez held her own against the former Women's World Champion, but late. Rhea Ripley rolled into Exodia and drew a DQ, so NXT is both and beat down on the striker into AO Sky, come out and hit the ring to make the save. After the heels got the better ways of her before. And then when Rhea Ripley saves them off, the Raw top stars standing tall and to close out on the assessment. So, I think this was a strong match between two lemony talented and performers in a reservoir it may not have hard and stable finish. I think it did the first between rivalries. I think involving scandal with the Bills for exotic clause that the copy 3 of top women's and top division. I think more permanently it creates in signing Rhea Ripley and AO Sky going to get along with the former if they think the Atlanta's Women's World Championship, and the winner of this match is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley hurt to Roxanne Perez twice into the ground thrill, overpowering her to counter the personal attack on her lower body. Allen did not have certain in Roxanne Perez has a new career on Monday nights on the bingo card, but how can anyone complain about having two of the best women's wrestlers onto the planet on the red brand? I just said a viable tag team or four-way match is going to be a straight file. So I just thinking of say also in Logan Paul on a collision course. He said, I'm on the heels of a victory over AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and you mean Logan Paul took to the ring to make his new crucial and Johnson clears he wants a title shot as a World Heavyweight Championship to say also. So I just say also to interrupt and said he was not going to hand over the world title after of years of walking to a title. YouTuber Logan Paul claimed the champion would cross out and lose the world title critical and it's an intercollegiate championship, and they also with a super kick that left Sesame Megastar is lined to close out the show. And then, after he says kicks a heat out of him, of Megastar Logan Paul. After when Logan Paul is a perfect force opponent for say also image that after he is of no threat to the champions and inable probably and can lose a match without losing his heat. He is a consummate and he after who will always angles and fans in the initiative fund has a result. Arguments it also beating him at a public live event allows him to build only in his longest wing and move onto the views that will let me define his wings. It also keeps him away from the waters who will seem to be the end game for say also at some point this summer. Arguments they also so is great follow in Justin more permanently he made it clear that just a new side of himself is not going away just because he be going to. And was from last week on Monday, and he looked nervous as he also appeared much more at home on his role as a top dog on Raw tonight. So in next match, they got tag team match. They got the World Warriors, which they got the 7th day. I just said Jimmy Donna made a big mistake by causing Penta the Intercollegiate Championship 8 weeks ago on Raw. I just in on Monday night. I just said a masked superstar return so available to Andy was late in his infant bottle match with the World Warriors on Monday night. So Andrew win overall toss the bottle to the New Day after the sales and they sat down and they stand up and then another toss him to the New Day onto the sales. Andrew was in overweight asses packed so down came to the screen. Andrew made Penta the sub Sigi Madonna off to the top rope. Andrew setting him up into rope machine into a trio of Eric and Alpha up to remain top at number 1 contenders was the World Tag Team Championship. Andrew is so match was a last in Penta with Andrew binding referees with Summit Day made this a Andrew was a waddle to the show of bonus points for the New Day. Andrew also in discussing on committee where there was a clarification had some clear lines. So Andrew backstage with the last minute Paul Heyman. So what's he said, what should Sammy do? And he said, I was at backstage, Paul Heyman told Sammy saying that, so what if he agrees to the trade to SmackDown? He will face the winner of Randy Orton versus John Cena at Backlash was the undisputed WWE Championship, and that's how much Seth Rollins thinks of you, he told him. In the middle of this match, the Royals won the match. At the end of the day, Kofi Kingston was started on committee was giving pep talk to Eric and Alvaro and thanking McDonald for all returning from long careers for any injuries while back. I was consulting about Big E without saying his name, and it wasn't right. Kofi Kingston influenced asked Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, so what if they wanted to see us Judgment Day has champions against such so they cannot undefeat them for 7 days. As the main picture is currently in routine to rivalry with Judgment Day, but could it result in a avoidance with his brother Ray Phoenix and a showdown with Finn Balor and Shinji Madara? So, speaking of Becky Lynch, why? So we got some man interested in the WWE Universe, she said. Anya on the heels of her shocking absence toward a women's intercard champion, Nia Fakia. Becky Lynch took to the squad circle to address the WWE Universe on Monday night. So, after Becky Lynch that it was she who attacked Bayley was leaving her unable to compete at WrestleMania, so made blamed the role model for attacking her for a couple of years dating back to 2019. Agent in claim she tied to Connor's line of pocket to drop her, but she will not listen to her. So, argument Becky Lynch had a promo time. This is fight wars. I just threw out Pocket who reveals to Becky Lynch an issue in open silence for the match at Backlash with her and title to be all aligned. So I just was a right strategy to hit with Becky Lynch. So here of Bayley accountable for her previous actions while also bring in her turn to pop herself up. So Aya has a bigger top star and seems to take a great pride in her attack. Aya went Latafucker sign her in a real opportunity for her to cut a long, meaningful promo on an opponent. See developed the what sense nothing in head had set of fans on her side, and but by the end of it, a hate test. She passed with flying colors. I just a match between her and Becky Lynch at Backlash. It's in St. Louis, so be discussing if given time to tell the story. So, and there won't be any more mystery of Becky Lynch said before. I wasn't good in her attack of Bayley from last weekend. I was causing her a side as a women's tag team championship. I know Gossip White who are, so, and this is of Becky Lynch is dead. And like the Falcon said, are you thinking about the last time we went one-on-one? And when I beat you and took your NXT championship? I guess a man only wrestles when it models. It does not model. So like that. I just hear in Kansas City, Rebecca Lynch said, I'm not longer to interested in bringing the next Becky Lynch. I am Lana Parker and I'm going to be a better person than you. And I already know that I'm a better person than you. That's what she said. So, next match, we got Jimmy Fakir goes one-on-one because now we know. I just before the match, a player package of Rusev went out for his return to fix the Ultimate Light. I knew he'd fix himself during his exit from WWE. I get back in the area of NXT Women's Champion, Jimmy Fakir. Anya was continuing her incredible run of late. It was about moving out in a singles competition. So Anya with her the onslaught and thrown at her by her opponent. Anya from San Gable to the best, moving out and panned her following the SVB. And the KC is loving it. Anya just did not appear to be the beginning of a rivalry of any kind, but Anya wrote an excuse to keep Jimmy Fakir on television in front of the WWE attendance. Anya she is a top star of the nominated Universal. I just thought it makes sense that the competitive team will one her on as many other comedy TV prominents as possible. I get on the base on the reactions for her in Kansas City in its booking. I just accept the NXT Women's Champion to be a member of the main roster sooner rather than later. And the winner of this match, Stephanie Fakir. So hold on, give me 1 minute. I guess Stephanie Fakir is a star now in the age. After the world is thrown around, I just see has in its bills. I just in it twin states. I just is no model with attendance department on the main roster. See performance 4. I just gave up saves in the match more than once for now probably the strategy for his prowess in helping her to undefeating. I think this is possibly the best now look in a month. I just think he and the elite. I just hit her opponent and never looked out of a place against Stephanie Fakir. I'm just thinking of Pat McAfee interest of Gunter. I was following the events of last week, so I saw him sold out by Gunter, and when Pat McAfee climbed at the top the announce table and cut a positive promo about his life, his loyalty, and his desire to follow Gonzo. After he requested Nick Aldis for Adam Pearce tonight, Andrew was left Gonzo begging so that he couldn't get back at him. Instead, Nick Aldis bought some maps for Backlash. After between Paul getting involved, Tyler shot at Say also and Pat McAfee was going off against Mick Gonzo and just made 10th playing a live event, so it's shaping up to be something. Andrew Pat McAfee has a press between the ropes more times and did not end. Andrew if there is anyone who can get the best out of him, assuming it is Gonzo. I love him or not, and you made Pat McAfee is a great talker when focused in his work here evolved. And was between Egypt and just work more than it had any right to. Egypt says Chesterfield Michael Cole stance. Adding to Michael Cole, I will be loading into I'm in soul, and Pat McAfee said, I want you to live Gonzo Bang, and I want to fight Gonzo, and Pat McAfee said, in next match against Sami Zayn this season, so the Sami Zayn was taking on Braun Breaker. After was backstage, they also told Sami Zayn he believes he will make the fight this season tonight has the allure. He was walked off, so also turned into a knockout punch from Logan Paul. Andrew who got the last laugh of the night. Andrew entered the ring, deposited in a press pail from Rollins to Sami Zayn to take the pass in gold to SmackDown, so little turned it down. Andrew found himself placed in a match with the man who only defeated him was the Intercontinental Championship at last August of SummerSlam of Braun Breaker. And Sami Zayn said, no deal. Andrew said the process of Sami Zayn this season, Andrew received whether Breaker has Braun Breaker punish him impulsively, overpowering him and traps him in main event. Andrew also is so Sami Zayn so off the wrestling that has been a trademark on his character for years. But it was not enough as Braun Breaker, so the iconic babyface Wesley Spills before adding a fourth super spill on the area floor. Andrew made the Rollins forcing and angry that his friend was abused him. Andrew made a jump to leave Sami Zayn was lying as the show went off the air. And this was an innovative way to highlight such new hair-tone facets against a guy in Sami Zayn who has been beloved by the WWE Universe. Also Hester is in wrestling today. It will be interesting to see. So what if this is leading to Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins at Backlash? After all, whenever someone else will aims to underfitting anything against, I just the fact that you don't believe in me, that hurts. Barnes said. If you say, if you stay on Raw and you don't believe in me, it's bad things are going to happen to you. So, at the end, I love you, and I don't want that happen to you. For how long has you have known me? Have you ever known me to run away? It seemingly asked, has he a friend and I respect you. I love you, but this is me telling you to go to hell. So I like this a part of the assessment of that. This was incredible of that moment. So we got one more guys, we got the last one here of the night. Let's take on YouTube community poll. So give me 1 minute. In overall grade. And this was an interesting episode of Raw that was clearly designed to fast track the rivalries that will lead to the Backlash Point Live event is on Saturday, May 10th. After we had two matches announced for that show, Lana Parker against Becky Lynch, Impact McAfee against Gunjo, and the all positive rivalries percent received and as well on the show. I just don't work more than all, but there was a clear concept discussions with is and it was missing a card something leading into WrestleMania. I think that is good enough for this week's podcast to receive a passing grade. Allison has Triple H and Cole get back to Costume and Cole. I think this concept that define this reclaim early on. So let's go my YouTube community poll for today. So give me 1 minute. So if you like this Raw video tonight, please give me a like, subscribe. I'm just saying it tonight. Give me a thumbs up. So let's go my YouTube community poll. So we got 3% like this show tonight. 3% is right, and 100% didn't like it. So let's go my X poll. So we got 28.6 liked it about tonight. 57.1 is right, and 14.3 didn't like it. So this was a good wrestling match for tonight. So speaking of Rusev, he said, he says he found himself a woman himself with abs after leaving WWE. He said, after a new product air up for Rusev also April 28th, episode of Raw. So after insert opponent Rusev said, after he once had it all, including a tank at WrestleMania, but he fell into the abs after leaving from WWE. He said Adams, he found himself, blaming himself, and fixed himself. After when Russell said he had, and also it wasn't funny free to cross people because he wanted to avoid hurt the favorite alternate and those who wasn't do time like I did. It wasn't said he will forgave and fixed his opponents like he fixed himself. Indeed, Russell is here. I'm just he wasn't at locker room has Cody been put on notice. After when Russell returned to WWE from last Monday on Raw, he was attacking orders in Kirisawa and Russell was released. So, after when Russell was released by WWE back in April 2020, so after he signed with AEW back in September 2020, after it went under the name of Miro during his time with the promotion, his last AEW appearance. And it was December 30th of 2023 at AEW was in, and he was Cody released back in February of 2025. So this was a very long time he's got released back in 2020, 2 years. So speaking of Rusev, 2 years back in 2020, after he started so let me see here. So after back in 2020 when I lost him, so I lost this Raw for 2 years of back in 2020 when I started watching it. So hold on, let me see here a minute. Hold on. I haven't set the date of when he's back already. Hold on, give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me see here a minute. Hold on. I find my notes here. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second here. Hold on. Let me take my X trail a minute. Rusev 2020. So give me 1 minute. So this has been a long time. I watched him about a year. I watched him since like way back in the day. I say for 5 years to his return for a Rusev Day back in 2 years. Yeah, this is almost about plus 5 years today when he came back to WWE. So this was crazy. Rusev came back to WWE. So here's some of my dream maps I want to see. Rusev versus Sacred Part 2. Rusev vs. Gringo, and Rusev vs. Alba Femi, and Samus, Barbarigo, and Penta, and San Gable. I think these are my 3 matches I wanted to see. So, oh yeah, I also remember this back in 2019 on January 9th. So I don't really know, I watched this show about Rusev, of Rusev J. Celebration, from Rusev Bell himself, into Boston Bruce, and causing long career highlights. So this one I watched back in 2019 when I started watching that. I say WrestleMania 31. Yeah, I'll say about WrestleMania 31. I'll still remember that. Part his rivalry with John Cena. So I remember that day when I watched the show. Was it for the John Cena's match? So I say WrestleMania 31 on his rivalry against Cena. I say a United States Championship at WrestleMania 31. You know, I do remember that day when I watched that show. So I say 2015. No, 2017 and yeah, I'll say 2015 and 2017. That's when I started watching wrestling as a fan. That'd be me. I am the biggest fan of wrestling, of professional wrestling. I've been watching every year. I am a fan of professional wrestling way back to the day when I started watching WrestleMania 31. I'm just in the past. So this was a crazy of that moment. So I do remember when I watched this show about WrestleMania 32. I say, hold on. So I do when I watched this WrestleMania 31. This is like old classic WrestleMania stuff. I love WrestleMania moments of art. The greatest days from all. So I watched Sting WrestleMania 31 against Triple H when Triple H was not wrestling anymore for this year. So I do remember when he against Sting and Triple H part of back. I do remember that match with NWO, with Scott Hall, and Steve Waltman. Oh yeah, when I see Waltman, I watched that show last night. I saw him in TNA Wrestling, Steve Waltman, Deep Wrestling X. I see Waltman, he was part of TNA. Now, so just a way back, I say 2015 on February 27th, Sting vs. Triple H. So just what I remember that show when I started to watch. So just a so long time. So I've been watching about 2021 when I watched that show. of Triple H versus Sting. So I like Sting has a hardcore match. Way back in the day, I say WCW to use like Ric Flair or Arn Anderson. So Arn Anderson has a new podcast. I watched that last week. Like for Horseman, like Arn Anderson has his own podcast, and Ric Flair has a new podcast too. I think he does. I think. So, are you ready for WrestleMania 42 for next year's? Are you ready for that to watch? So, here's my 6 picks for tonight. Of my current roster picks. So, here's my 6 picks for tonight. So, we got for Raw on 6 picks for Raw. That I choose AJ Styles is 1. Becky Lynch is 2. Braun Breaker is 3. And Savon to be 4. And Anthony Barlow is 5. And the last one, it might could be Say also. Here's my 6 picks for the night. And I want to see between John Cena and championship between Matt. Maybe 7 picks. I want to see against John Cena's match. Here's my dream pick for me. So I want to see. Hold on. Here's my dream picks for John Cena's opponent. So I want to see The Miz versus John Cena. This 1. Randy Orton will face John Cena of into Backlash on May 10th. In probably his hometown. And he lives in St. Louis. Randy Orton, yep. I might meet Randy Orton sometime. I'm gonna meet him in St. Louis sometime. I haven't met him yet. So I might meet him sometime one day. I'm gonna see Roman Reigns be against John Cena. And I wanna see not Wayne Barrett. He doesn't wrestle anymore. He worked for SmackDown. Now for CM. And I want to see. Hold on. I'm going to see Rey Fenix could face John Cena for his undisputed championship title. That's my dream match. And I want to see my first dream match. I want to see. So I got 5 picks for now. Here's my last one. I'll say Kevin Owens versus John Cena too. After he comes back for his speed recovery. So this was a great vlog tonight. Here's my 7 picks for tonight for Raw and SmackDown. So I want to see Becky Lynch could face La Falcon for Intercontinental Championship match for a title pistol for Universal for her. So here's my picks for the night. So let's go to 6 pick for the women's side, the top division. So let's do $9 1. Cody is 2. Yeah, Cody was a really good, talented performer, person of women's top division. And the next one I like to pick Dakota Kai, Sutton Green. Yeah, she lost her title. So I'll go with Solid Flu. And in my last one, I say I'll go with Natalia. So it might be really good maps, I think. So do you think of the White 6 show up to SmackDown? Also on that on the current roster of the White 6, I haven't heard it from them yet. So we'll do wrapping up in a few minutes here, guys. So let me check on the movie list of wrestling movies. So let me see here. John Cena. So let me see. So I said, if we had any more movies that's coming out for him. So I've seen this movie about his movies. So he will basically make more. He was a top Hollywood star. He makes movies for a long time. So we're wrapping up right now. So have a good Monday. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for AJ Dynamite and so much more. So have a good night on Monday. Have a good night. And I'll do it live on Wednesday for AJ Dynamite and so much more. So you get all the glow on my podcast, anything, and a lot more. So have a great Monday. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. Peace.